Horror pics show blood-drenched civilians after Russia blitzes apartment block killing boy in Ukraine invasion. Horror pictures show the devastating impacts of Vladimir Putin's war as civilians were left covered in blood and weeping for lost loved ones. Photos from airstrikes across Ukraine show the already disastrous human cost of the Russian invasion that has left the world stunned. An injured woman pictured after the airstrike in Kharkiv. Getty. A wounded man after an airstrike hit in Chernihiv. Getty. Firefighters were seen trying to put out the fire at the scene. Getty. Firefighters at the scene in Chernihiv. Getty. At least 10 civilians are reported to have already been killed, but this number is expected to rise amid the full-scale invasion. And in one assault, Putin's forces blitzed an apartment block, leaving many residents bloodied and killing a young boy, 15. UN refugee chief Felippo Grandi would have devastating humanitarian consequences. And he urged neighbouring countries to keep borders open to those fleeing the violence. The humanitarian consequences on civilian populations will be devastating. There are no winners in war, but countless lives will be torn apart, he said. Grandi added, civilian lives and civilian infrastructure must be protected and safeguarded at all times. It comes as the Russian president declared war this morning after months of growing tensions. Police sources reported explosions as air raid sirens blared as far west as Lviv, while hundreds of casualties were reported by Ukraine's Interior Ministry as the country was placed under martial law. Firefighters were seen trying to extinguish the flames of a house burning after an airstrike hit in Chernihiv, Kharkiv. A shocking video shows the moment a cyclist gets hit by a shell in Uman, in the Cherkasy region. According to reports, 1 civilian was killed and 5 others wounded. Vladimir Putin warns of untold consequences if the West challenges his invasion of Ukraine. Britain is to batter Russia with unprecedented sanctions of the invasion. Boris Johnson is holding a crisis Cobra meeting over the invasion as the West draws up plans for severe sanctions. Horror pictures show people fleeing Ukraine after Russia's dawn assault. Fears are growing over the price of petrol and gas as the markets quake in the aftermath of the invasion. Civilians are believed to have been hurt in the initial assault by Russia. Putin is feared to have deployed Russia's horrifying thermobaric rocket launchers. The evacuation of the population within a 19-mile radius of a military unit was announced. Meanwhile, terrified Ukrainians were seen fleeing the country as explosions hit the capital Kiev and other major cities. Families took shelter inside subway stations while long queues were seen on platforms. Residents rushed to gas stations as they tried to head out of Kiev but were met with gridlocked highways. A shaken mom, Ksenia Mashenka, took cover with her teenage son in a metro station off Kiev's Maidan Square. She said she ran to the subway station for cover because Russia has started a war against Ukraine. She said, "We need to save our lives. We hope the metro can save us because it is underground." Thousands woke up terrified as Kiev was rocked by a number of explosions. Maria Kashkovska, 29, said while sitting on the station's floor, "I woke up because of the sounds of bombing." Ukrainian defense officials later said that Kiev's main international airport had come under a Russian bombing attack. A police car drove down Kiev's main Khreshchatyk Avenue urging everyone to remain calm and take shelter. Long queues formed at petrol station as residents prepared to flee. "I once again call on the people of Kharkiv to stay at home and to remain as calm as possible," Mayor Igor Terekhov said. Putin said the special military operation aims to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine during his speech this morning. Defiant Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba said, Putin has just launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. President Volodymyr Zelensky said that the Ukrainian people want peace, and that his government was the Ukrainian people want peace, after Putin refused to speak to him last night. The Ukrainian president addressed the nation urging people to donate blood for the injured soldiers in the hospitals. Residents trying to flee Kiev. AP. 1 person was killed and 5 were injured in Uman. East to West News. The clip shows the moment the cyclist is hit by a shell. East to West News. Zelensky said, "We need blood. We will remove sanctions on any citizen of Ukraine who is able to take up arms in defense our country." Explosions were heard across the country. East to West.